we go. Um, Good. What time is it? It's good afternoon. And I'm just about to get started on the 1 day build of the, what's it called? Oh man, I'm tired. Bolt action, pipe bolt action pistol thingy from Fallout 4. Um, so I'm going to be periscoping it about it throughout the day. The whole idea is to build the gun from start to finish in 1 day. And of course I am late to start because, hey Morgan, thanks for tuning in, man. I'm late to start because for some reason there was a very strange beeping noise from outside my flat for 6 hours this morning, just going beep, 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 and I couldn't discover where it was coming from, and it kept me awake in the early hours of the morning. But nonsense, we're going now. So let's have a look at this gun and let's see what we've done so far. So, right. So, here is the gun in question. Hello there. Here is the gun in question that I'm going to be making today. It is from Fallout 4, and getting all the love for the gun. And it is a really neat looking piece. It seems to be bodged together with little hunks of metal, pipe, bolts, and some wood thrown in there. It doesn't appear to make any sense. Not quite sure how it's supposed to work. But what we're going to do is we're going to build a replica of it. So the first thing I did this morning was I printed out a couple of copies of the gun to scale. Typically I would draw blueprints from this looking at all sides, but because it's a 1 day build, I'm not going to spend the hour or two doing that. I'm just going to work from this blueprint, from this profile picture here. I did manage to get a look at a video of the gun, looking at in 360 degrees, so I have a fair idea of what is going on. It is pretty much identical on the far side, and there's only a few little bits that happen on the top. So this is basically going to work as my blueprint. I have been making some notes this morning as to what I'm going to use and where I'm going to use it. And to be perfectly honest, I think there's going to be a lot of found objects. I'm going to try and I might incorporate some metal. Morgan has used this gun and played with it in Fallout, and it looks good to him. Glad to hear it. So yeah, I'm going to be using real materials where I can. So there may be real springs in there. There's probably going to be real wire attached around the barrel here. These are going to be real bolts, so I've been getting out some M8 bolts to use there. I've also got some big beefy M16s that are going to be used in there. And I'm just going to try and make it as authentic looking as possible. And I'm going to do the whole thing in 1 day. So now that I've got a basic plan of what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and I'm going to start scavenging around the workshop to see what I can find. Hopefully there's some right size pipe, some springs and some lumps of wood that I can use. If not, I might have to go to the shops, but hopefully I won't have to do that. But I will be tuning back in on a regular basis to show you how I'm doing. So be sure, if you're not already following me, be sure to follow so you can keep up to date with what's going on. And this is going to be the first of many 1 day builds. Hopefully I can do this on a bi-weekly or monthly basis and build really awesome props really quickly and show you how I do it. So thanks for tuning in. Remember, follow me at Sorenzo Props, and I'm also going to be on Twitter and Instagram posting updates about this, and of course Facebook. So if you just tuned in, make sure you follow, and I'll catch you in an hour or two. Cheers, bye bye. Hey, welcome back. I can't believe it's lunchtime already. This is going to have to be a really quick build. That light's really glary, isn't it? So yeah, it's lunchtime, and I'm about to get started. Actually, start fabricating, start building the pipe bolt action gun from Fallout 4. I have been scouring the workshop looking for parts. I have been getting a selection of parts. I'm not exactly sure what I will use. The Fallout 4 gun, or most of the Fallout stuff, is all sort of scavenged and it's all modified. So it's all thrown together from odds and ends, bits and pieces that you find in the wasteland. So I'm kind of thinking that I might lean towards using real genuine products. So I'm going to use timber. I've pulled out some piping, some copper and aluminium, and I've even got some steel piping. And I've got some steel bar that I'm thinking about using for the handle, and I've got real bolts. So let's have a look at what I've got here. So here's my selection. So here's the design. You can see here it's just like a lump of timber with a section cut out of it with the pipe going down through it. It's got some internal workings there. It's got a bolt as a mechanism. It's got some springs, and then you can see here that this the handle is held together with a huge big bolt and nut, and then that seems to be sort of shaped bended steel. So the parts I've got, I found this lump that we cut off a solid door, which is perfect. A bit of scrap timber, I'm going to reuse it. I found these lengths of steel, which I am going to attempt to bend into the shape of the handle. This one might be a little bit too thick, but this one might just bend. There's not too much weight to it, but will really make the prop feel genuine. I found some cut down copper, which could come in handy, and I've got different sizes of aluminium. The way I intend to build it is going to need to use a lathe and possibly a milling machine, but I'm also going to show you examples of how you can build it without those. And then as my backup, I've got some standard prop artists model bucket materials. So I've got a selection of foam core back here, which comes in nice big thicknesses. This stuff is a PVC sheet, and it is really easy to work with, really easy to cut, really easy to bend with a little bit of heat. So it could make up the handle section if needs be, if the steel doesn't go. And then we've got some nice thin styrene, which again could be used to make up some of these details which wrap all around the gun, and then some of these parts like the sights. So that is the plan. Little bit late in the day, but we're going to get through it. So I'm about to go start cutting up some wood and seeing about making a start on this. So remember, we're going to be doing this all day, so if you're tuning in now, be sure to follow me at Sorenzo Props and keep up to date what's happening for the rest of the day. So I'll see you in an hour or two. Cheers, bye. Again for, oh, that light's terrible. Way. Yeah, back again for part 3 of the one-day build. And I have just been working on the stock of the gun. It proved to be a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be. Let me just go, where's my design? Way over here. Okay. I've got my template that I've been working from. So let me see. There is a template of the gun, and you can see that the barrel kind of runs down through the stock. And let me just put it down here so I can demonstrate. What happens is there's a bit that's cut away here, and it kind of looks like from this image that the barrel is just sort of positioned down on top of the stock, but actually there's like a quadrant taken out, so that the barrel goes all the way down through there, but it's like surrounded by the timber on about 80% of it. So what I had to do was to drill holes right the way through my stock, and that proved to take a little bit more time than I thought it would. I had to come over here to the lathe and use some really large heavy duty bits. I've got my 4-way chuck here, which meant I could position the piece of timber nice and square, and because my drill bit is only about 250 long, maybe 300 long in total, I had to flip the piece of wood around. And basically the way this works is the chuck here spins, and it's going to get quite noisy for a little second, but chuck spins, and then we move the drill bit forward into it, removing all of the excess material that we don't need. So and then that just pushes forward, and that's pretty much it. I've already drilled this, so there's no point in me doing that. But yep, that is pretty much it. Almost done. I'm going to start cutting away so we can insert the barrel. But unfortunately the battery on my camera has died, so I'm going to have to wait 20 minutes or so to because I'm recording the whole thing. So yeah, that's update number 3. Thanks very much for tuning in, and the rest of them will be coming up during the day. So make sure you're following here so you can keep up to date. So thank you. See you next time. So here's my template that I've been working from. And as if you tuned in earlier, you'll remember that I said that had an unusual design feature that a section of the stock had been machined out with the barrel inserted down through it. So that took me a little bit of time to figure out how to get the hole all the way through. My earlier Periscope show how I've done that, and I've just removed this chunk of material so that we it's a prop, dude. It's a prop of a gun from a video game called Fallout 4, and it's a pipe bolt action pistol, and I'm making a replica. So yeah, I've cut out this section. A mistake that I've made is that I have cut out all the way down here, which I don't need. This needs to be a solid block of material. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to pop a bit back on later on, but that's no big deal. I've also managed to create the handle. And the handle I was originally going to create from Foamex, but I thought it'd be too light and too, since the body is going to be, the stock is going to be, or the, what's the, I don't know what that bit's called. It's going to be timber, so I decided to make the handle out of metal. So I got some of this steel and I negotiated into shape with my impact engineering tool. So it's pretty much a match. I'm quite happy with that, and it fits. These bolts, I think they're M16s, fit through, and that's going to give it some support into the body here. So I'm more than likely going to put on some sort of plate here. I might make that out of metal just to give it some extra support. But yeah, I'm quite happy with progress so far. I'm going to see about getting the internal springs, just so it looks like there's some kind of mechanics to it. And then the rest of it is going to be just finishing it. I'm going to add on all of these details, and I'm going to see about giving it a genuine rust patina. I'm going to use some chemicals and some metal sulfur. Whoa! So it's after midnight, so it's technically tomorrow, which means I've gone over my time from one day build, but I'm quite happy with how I got so far. So yeah, today I was doing the one day build where I was attempting to build the pipe bolt action pistol from Fallout 4. I was going to build it in one day, and I started at around noon today, and it's now just after midnight, and I am not finished, but I have built it. So let's see what we got. And there we are. So obviously it is not painted. It needs a lot more work with the weathering. Thanks guys. But that is it. That is all the parts in place. And yeah, it's a pistol. Oh, thanks very much guys. So I'm going to have to spend a little bit more time on it, and I'm looking forward to doing that. There's going to have to be some serious amounts of weathering done to this, which is going to be awesome. I've covered all the parts in kind of like a gun metal silver. Let me come over here, and I've added some of the details, like the wire and the tape on the handle. But the handle uses all genuine steel parts. Actual M16 nut and bolt going through there, and all the nuts that you see and all the screws are genuine. Everything is just screwed on place to make it easy for me to assemble and disassemble it. And that is pretty much it. So I think tomorrow I will set about doing some more weathering on it. The wood needs to get heavily stained, so I'm going to do that, build that up in layers, and then the metal needs to be rusted, so I'm going to do some more weathering on that, and then genuine rust to it using some chemicals and some, what do I use? I can't remember. Peroxide, some salt, some vinegar, and some metal filings will actually create genuine rust. So it's going to be a proper rusted gun, like it's straight from the wasteland. So that was my 1 day build. It's kind of running over into 2 days, but it's my show and I make up the rules. So as far as I'm concerned, it's built. I win. And I'll give you guys one more look at it. There we go. Thanks very much, guys. And yeah, I do make up the rules. Cheers, guys. Thanks very much to everybody who tuned in for that. I hope you enjoyed it. I think that they're all viewable for the next wee while. I'm not sure how long they stay on Patreon, or not Patreon, Periscope. But yeah, thanks very much for tuning in, and you can check out the video. The build video will be up on my YouTube channel in the coming days. And yeah, that's all for me. Thanks very much. And there we have it. So I have just completed the paint job for the 1 day build of the pipe bolt action pistol from Fallout 4. I spent a couple of hours this morning finalizing the paint job, and I am pretty damn happy with the results. So yesterday we left it oh, cheers, man. Thanks, Morgan. Yesterday we left it, there was a very little paint applied. I just primered and I had painted the metally looking bits with a kind of gunmetal grey, and today I set about weathering, and it really makes the difference. So I've added in, I don't think it's focusing very well, is it? I've added in lots of rust details, weathered the paint, and what I'm quite happy with is these bits here. So this here is a genuine metal piece, and this here is PVC foam board, and the similarity between the two is rather impressive. So I'm quite happy with it, all in all. The build took 12 hours in total, and the painting took another 3 or 4 maybe. I took my time with the painting today, which is quite often the best way. But yeah, that is pretty much it. So I have a quick little photo shoot with it, taking a few pictures, and I'm going to be posting them up on my Facebook page, and Twitter and Instagram and whatnot. And I am going to start editing the video, which shows you exactly how I built the entire piece, step by step, all the tools, all the equipment, all the materials that I used. And at some point in the coming weeks, I'm going to be giving this away. Oh, cheers, man. Thanks very much. Yeah, I'm dead chuffed considering it was done in 12 hours. But yeah, I'm going to give this away. So once I get the tutorial video published, I will release details, and one of you lucky people will get a chance of winning it, which is going to be fantastic. So let's give you... Here we go, in all its glory. We'll do a little flip around so you can see what's going on here. So yeah, all the bolts and screws are genuine. The body is a lump of recycled wood, and the handle is some reclaimed steel. And let's just flip it around this side. It looks pretty good from the back too. I might do something with the handle, and it's just a little bit of tape that I've put around it. But for now, it looks good. It's a replica prop of the bolt action pipe pistol from Fallout 4. Sorry dude, I don't know what that means. But that's pretty much it. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. I'm hoping to be doing a lot more of these. Until the next one, cheers, bye bye.